is aimed at enhancing peace, increasing livelihood opportunities, and providing education, health, nutrition, child protection, as well as sanitation support to strengthen the resilience of vulnerable populations in Borno and Yobe states. Sri Lanka's Prime Minister has been sworn in as acting president, his officers replacing Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who fled to Singapore following months of protest against him. The speaker accepted the resignation sent in by the embattled ex-president. The speaker said that the parliament will meet on Saturday and a new president will be elected within 7 days following provisions of the constitution. The newly elected president is likely to appoint a new prime minister who would be approved by parliament. Now, Southern African countries have agreed to extend the stay of their troops in Mozambique for another 30 days. The army were deployed last year to the country to help it fight terrorists. The nation's mandate was set to end on Friday, but has been extended on an interim basis until an SADC Heads of State summit in mid-August, when a more detailed report on the mission's progress will be considered. And back home, Borno State government allocates 251 houses to the State Police Command. The state government allocation of the houses to police was meant to compensate the State Command for government's use of some portions of land belonging to the police for development of some infrastructures in the state capital. And those are the stories trending at this time. Thank you so much for your time.
It is the season of the top candidates for the nation's houseman seat come 2023. It is also the season when running mates are unveiled in a bid to beat deadline. The selections have thrown up a storm in different circles, and it's up to those on the podium to capture the imagination of the voting populace and galvanize Africa's biggest democracy forward. In the aftermath of the jailbreak in Kuje Custodial Facility and the ensuing manhunt, the need to beef up security in the nation's facilities is on the front burner. This architecture is also expected to cover elections and pre-election activities. Also on Political Update today, a curious meeting between a leading PDP governor and his APC colleagues. These and more in a moment. I'm Fisayo Gafui. Welcome. Last week, the Labour Party unveiled the running mate of its presidential flag bearer, Peter Obi, is Senator Dati Baba Ahmed, Pro-Chancellor of the Bayes University. Thus, it is a combination the party hopes will convince the electorate to give the party a chance at the centre.
Presidential candidate of Labour Party Peter Obi is satisfied with his choice of running mate, considering his age, which will make him more productive. With the team building a productive structure that will focus on agriculture, Peter Obi and his running mates have a message for Nigerians.
We must ensure that this country is secure, this country is united, and this country is productive. We are committed to turning all those vast land in the north into the oil of the future.
Cannot afford not to be part of the movement to rescue Nigeria.
I believe in the greatness of Nigeria. I believe there will be peace and prosperity.
Stakeholders are not only impressed with the choice of running mates, but want Nigerians to make a bold step and take advantage of this combination to chart a new course in 2023.
It's no longer business as usual. The time of the people has come. The people's movement has come. It's going to move the country from being a consumption country to a production country.
The youthful and energetic Yusuf Baba Ahmed was elected senator to represent Kaduna North Senatorial District in 2011 after serving as a member of the House of Representatives. The academician, who established Based University in 2011, is an alumnus of the University of Maiduguri.
Perhaps the political story of the week is the confirmation of former governor of Borno State, Senator Kashim Shettima, as the running mate of APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu by the candidate himself in Daura. The presidential candidate of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was accompanied to Daura by Governor Aminu Bello Masari of Katsina State, Youth and Sports Development Minister Sanda Dare, and other close associates. His engagement with President Muhammadu Buhari lasted more than 1 hour 30 minutes behind closed doors. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who spoke to newsmen shortly after, said a wide range of issues were discussed with the Nigerian leader, including the choice of his running mate for the next general elections.
The only one that was in place as a replacement we brought today, and there be already an announcement to replace him fully with a substantive
Substantive one.
Kashim Shettima. I have not discussed with him. I've disclosed it to you since I've disclosed it to the president.
Why Kashim Shettima?
No, that's because he competent, capable, reliable, and able.
The APC presidential candidate also used the opportunity to express absolute confidence in the ability of the governing party to return power in 2023.
Inshallah, we're going to win.
Why are you so confident?
Because we are a progressive party. We have the focus on Nigeria problems. We face the challenge squarely. We are not running away from it. We have a better program for the people and about the people and ready to serve. Within a short period of time, there will be a good foundation on infrastructure. We face challenges of terrorism, we know that. It's only, a poor thinker and observer will not recognize the challenge. But once you recognize a challenge, you can prepare yourself very well to tackle it and defeat it. And that is what our party is all about.
And just before we go to the interview segment, the Progressive Governors Forum says its members are willing, able, and ready to work assiduously towards ensuring that the governing APC records victory in the next general elections. The forum described as false insinuations that the governors are not happy with the choice of Senator Kashim Shettima as a running mate to the presidential candidate of the party, that is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
And Kashim Shettima is one of Nigeria's finest, and we believe he brings a lot of value to the presidential ticket. So we are quite pleased, and we pray that his formidable capacity will complement the capacity, the well-known capacity, formidable indeed himself, of our presidential flag bearer. And Nigerians will be convinced that this is about the best thing that the parties in this 2022 primary season have produced. We have not met as governor for anyone to say governors are not happy. Maybe one governor is not happy or two individually, but I don't think there is anything like that. And in any case, our loyalty is to the party. Whoever is the running mate, we are going to rally around him and ensure that our party wins. We must win. The whole objective of being in this party is to save Nigerians from the bad governance of PDP, and we are united in that quest.
Are you happy with the choice?
Of course, yes. Of course, it's a collective decision. 22 governors will deliver 22 states because they have done very, very well. How many states remaining?
Shetima is I will say my immediate predecessor, who was the immediate chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, who handed over to me. And as a matter of choice, the discretion of the candidate to choose his deputy or the vice. And anything the candidate does is in the interest of the party. For ours, it's to work for the party and by God's grace, deliver the party at the main election.
While the All Progressives Congress APC, the People's Democratic Party PDP, the New Nigeria People's Party NMPP, and the Labour Party look like the early horses with their noses in front in the race to the presidential villa in 2023, the Young Progressives Party YPP says its manifesto and its candidates have the generality of Nigerians at heart. The presidential candidate of the party, Prince Malik Abdul Ibrahim, joins us now on Political Update. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
I love this. Now, why YPP?
Well, I think it identify with the party. I identify with a lot of the manifesto of the party agrees with me wholeheartedly. Yes, young by name, young by nature. I think I'll put my hands up for that. Progressive in the sense that it has a different direction in which it wants to take Nigeria. We've stayed in the role for 30 years. Nothing's changed. And I believe that our motto of service to the people is what I embody as a person. And I believe that with young people coming to the fore in a country that is full of very young people, YPP is the choice to go forward with.
All right, so tell us about this new direction you are perhaps trying to diffuse as innovation to Nigerians. What new direction are you talking about in specifics?
Well, we've been doing the same thing over and over. It's one of my favorite terms to talk about the two parties. Twins, they've not done anything different for the last 30 odd years. And that's the definition of insanity, when you want something to change and it doesn't change, but you keep doing it over and over again. The system is broken. We all know it. We all see it. Our roads are terrible. We have no power. Security is bad. Why do we want to keep doing the same thing again? We know what the outcome is going to be. So our direction is very different. It's very modern. It's very technological. It's inclusive of the young people, because we believe, and I firmly believe, that if you bring young people into governance, they will have more patriotism, they have more love for country. And I believe that's what my party is all about. It's about being inclusive all the way, male, female, Christian, Muslim. This is one country, and I want to be the uniter-in-chief of this country, and nothing more, nothing less.
All right, we love the term uniter-in-chief, but there's an aspect. Your background, of course, with a lot of education, your background is from a monarchy, a royal house. The transition from, monarchy to democracy, has it been seamless?
Well, what are monarchs in the African context? We serve our people. We are living with our people. We know what they want. We know what their needs are. I'm also Nigerian, so constitutionally that right is there for me to run. So I'm exercising that right. But look, I have an antecedent that's very strong about serving. In 1923, 1929, the British had a real push at my grandfather, and he took it upon himself to go to the UK and see King George VI at that time, an African monarch, the first to do that. And all he wanted to do was to find out why water was coming out of taps. And King George obliged him by allowing the engineers from the British Army to put pipe-borne water in Okene, where I'm from. He did that because he didn't want his people going up the hill to fetch water. And now we were the first place in West Africa to have pipe-borne water. That's the kind of antecedents I come from. And I believe that my uncles who've been IGs, we've been ministers, we've been governors, we've served Nigeria well. This is just my generation's time to do the same and lift the bar. It's firmly on the ground. We need to do better.
All right, permit me, it's not about, it's not some levity, but how do we, begin to understand your accent is so elevated? The Nigerian youth might want something a bit, so that you can communicate with them properly, explain to them your concepts. You've enjoyed the best of education and all that, but have you been able to interest them in this project?
Well, let me say this. We don't want a president in Nigeria next. That is for older people to want to aspire to. My ambition is to be a president. You hear that being said all the time. We need a leader. What is a leader? A leader knows. A leader shows. And then he lets his people follow him. And what I've come to understand about what we're missing here is leadership that is energetic, it's young, it's visionary, it sees what it wants for its people and brings it back. Look, everybody wants to go abroad and learn and enjoy life in foreign lands, and because that's the land of milk and honey. I've been educated there, and I want to bring what I've learned back home. Judge me on my accent would be terribly wrong, but to judge me on my deeds, and my deeds speak a lot more than my elevated accent, as you said, because from the 18 countries in which I've been working over the last 20 years, my record is sterling, and I want to bring those things back home with power and security being the cornerstone of what I am as a person.
All right, you know where we are. The state of play as a country is economically, and all that, in terms of also job creation, security as well, all things you've mentioned. What are the low-hanging fruits in your concept? For instance, Nigerians were to give you the opportunity, a chance at the center. What will you be doing, in the first 1 or 2 years to let us know that this new way of thinking is working?
Well, principally, I would tell you that the one thing that we're not doing right is we have got the power situation in Nigeria completely wrong. So a couple of very important things I would do. I would change the energy mix. Now we're just convulsing on conventional power, turbines, gas, and oil. And the rest of the world has pivoted to renewable energy. I'm the third largest renewable energy producing company. I understand the technology. I've been at the United Nations as an Undersecretary for Renewable Energy. And I know that within that first 2 years, I could easily ease the power structure of this country by decentralizing the power, embedding power where it's needed, using renewables, and then use that to give us time to build a better grid. We can produce, but we cannot transmit. So we need to do something different. TCN's job, which is the transmission company of Nigeria, needs to be focused on getting more transmission lines built. But you don't take away cake without giving your people bread, and you don't take away bread without giving them cake. There has to be something. So I believe that renewables will do this, and I'm not just talking out of fiction. I'm doing this in other countries, so I understand that. The other thing I would do is use that power once it's available, because that will give you better healthcare. It will give you better education. It will give you security. I mean, we looked at the Koje break-in the other day, and the Senate President said, well, the CCTV cameras were not working. Well, hello. There's no power. So how is it going to work? You don't give them money for diesel at 900 naira a litre. So when you have security and you have power that is built through renewables, you've got 24-hour power that you can rely on. Radios work. Night vision works. You can see your enemy in the dark. That's the advantage we should have had. So it's taking the architecture slightly different. Everybody just does the same thing. They come and then they put another layer of zero on top of what is already a bad situation. Instead of opening a brand new box and looking at technology to add a different kind of level to Nigeria. And by doing this, young people get involved.
My director of people in the studio are saying that, you've got me carried away, but mine is just one vote. But tell Nigerians at this time, about some of the things, that we may have been doing wrong, even as followers, that we could be doing right. Because the rhetoric have always been, this party is not good, that one is not good. But we're now looking at the human being. So what would be your intervention also? Because whatever it is you're doing, we must participate. You must get the buy-in of Nigerians.
Yes. So you can look at me from a very interesting type of lens. I'm not a one-dimensional individual. individual. Yes, I come from a very staid family that understands what service is, but I've been thrown in the deep end also. As I said, I was at the United Nations, and what you learn from running 154 countries, talking to presidents and ministers of those countries, and trying to be equitable in the way you deliver things, is what is going to help Nigeria. I speak of what people need to hear outside, how we get things done. So my leadership skill is slightly different. If you take away the accent, as you said, my job is to give people the confidence to look at me and say, I want to give this man a chance. Why? Whether it's in Turkey or the United Kingdom or in the United States, you can see the things I've built. They're still working today. And I'm not boastful character. That's not my humility is what we're taught. It's probably not the right thing to be in this political race for because you want to show off. But I can show demonstrably what I've done. For instance, in Yola, I took a bunch of young engineers and put in 5 megawatts into a state that was only getting 1.5 megawatts and a disco in Yola that was getting 7 megawatts for 4 states. I put 5 megawatts on a farm, and that farm is producing the best quality yogurt, cheese, ice cream, and milk that West Africa has ever seen. We launched that last Thursday, and people couldn't believe that in the middle of a barren land, everything was working. The young people that were there that worked with me on this project are rock stars, the Nigerian stars of the future, and I want to make and build more of those things and get Nigerian young people back to work.
All right, let's take just this one. In an intriguing meeting, the Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, some days ago received 3 APC governors from the southwestern part of the country in Port Harcourt. The governors, Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, Olorotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State, Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, and before their arrival, the former governor of Ekiti State, Fayoshe, was in a meeting with the governor. The governors entered into a closed-door meeting with Governor Wike, but details of their deliberations were not made public. Speculations are rife, however, on the mission of the state governors, considering the seeming estrangement that developed between the governor, that is Governor Wike, and some political actors within his party, that is the PDP, after the presidential primary. And then before we go, a bit of labor issue. President Muhammadu Buhari says enough is enough to striking lecturers of universities.
Ensuring the government and the leadership that you don't like what they are doing, but enough is enough. Don't hurt the next generation, for goodness sake. So those of you who have friends that are teachers, persuade them to go back to classes so that our children can resume their educational pursuit.
The members of this forum would like to assure you that we will work very, very hard to ensure the success of our party. We have all reasons to work hard, and we are confident that with what you have helped us achieve in Nigeria, as we go around Nigeria to campaign for our party under your leadership, we have a great story to tell. We believe Nigerians will trust us, and Nigerians will appreciate that, even where the outcomes are less than what we had hoped, that we have done well. You have done well, and we are very, very proud of you.
I hope you've enjoyed political update. Before we go, let's get the final words from our guest, Prince Malik Ado Ibrahim of the YPP. What's the final words to Nigerians on today's program as we move very closely? Of course, there is a hurdle, an off-cycle election later on this week, but after that is a home run through the 2023 general elections. What will be a word now from the podium to the people?
I think it's very simple. Judge the man that you want to vote for. This is not about the party anymore. We really need to start doing things slightly differently, and I believe that the man and his cerebral nature and his vision is what young Nigerians should be looking for. In fact, all Nigerians should be looking for.
All right, I know that's your line on the show, and the dream is a man with an accent will give a presidential accent. That would be no accident. My name is Fisayo Gufi. Thanking you for watching Political Update today. We're back again on Friday for a preview of the Osun elections and of course we'll be right there anchoring from Oshogbo, God willing. Don't forget, as we always say, you who come to the Nigerian Television Authority, Africa's largest and finest, where we give you the very best of news, reviews, previews, and interviews. And this is the season, so play your politics for the greater good. Bye-bye now.
Wonderful. The